Hi, I'm extremely excited about showing you uh, a chatbot that I created, um, uh, and I'll show you what it does first. It's a chatbot that gets that's getting data from um, a PDF, a military army PDF, and it uses this to search data. And the article, I wrote an article on this, and it's in one of the top Python blogs called Finxter, where there's a lot of extremely good articles and content. This chatbot takes in this data, and it can be whatever data you define, and it's a high performance chatbot. And it's only 50 lines of code, the actual chatbot, but there's uh, a lot underneath the hood, and there's a lot of advanced technologies that are really interesting under this. So I'll run it first, show you what it does. So the chatbot's loading data from this. There's this PDF, and then I created a text file from this PDF, and it's going to answer questions from the data that's in here. Um, so it loads up here, and as you can see, that this chatbot is from the Army, and it's for infantry and platoon squad. And so I'll ask, who is this? It's called a field manual. Field manual for. This field manual is from infantry units, and as you can see, this is infantry, platoon, and squad. So it gives you that's a good answer for what it does. Let's see if we can find another example. What does the platoon master gunner do? Here's a platoon master gunner. So I'll ask this one, what the question query, a platoon master gunner do. And I'm going to also tell it how to format the data, organize his duties in a numerical list. Order by importance. See what that does. So just waiting for this query. Okay, so awesome. He serves as a technical expert on gunnery and weapon equipment. So it lists out everything that this guy needs to do, and it does it in order. And yeah, it lines up. It lines up well. It looks like it's just spread out what a lot of these duties are and lists them out because it's 14 bullet points, but it lines up well with what's in that PDF. So the master gunner's key thing is for weapons, and so yeah, it gets weapons in there. Yeah, so it gives you a great summary. And so what this is doing is it's taking this PDF, and this PDF's already been loaded, and then it's taking this loaded PDF and then piping it. This is basically a pipe. It says load chain. It's piping it to OpenAI, and then this command is just sending a pipe from here, and the data is actually being stored in this cloud database, vector database, that's extremely performant and can be accessed from anywhere. So this little simple chatbot could be used. This basic outline of this code could be used anywhere. You could do it in a different language, but you could easily use this for a mobile app. And it's very, very fast compared to other methods. And there's also a lot in this. One of the main libraries it's using is this LangChain, and that's what they use the pipe. And there's a lot you can do with that. This is just like the tip of the iceberg. So I'll walk you step by step on how to create it, how I created this, and how you can create it too. Um, so first, you're going to sign up for the Chat GPT API. There's a lot of you can just Google that. That's very easy to find. And there's also a really good Finxter article on that. You can see that in my article. I put a link to that. And then there's also a link to Pinecone. Pinecone is not as well known. So I'm kind of assuming if you listen to this tutorial, you're going to know a lot of these technologies if you're even interested in this. So, but Pinecone is new to me, so it may be new to you. So here's you basically just sign up for this, and then there's some API keys. The basic idea is there's an index name, which is like a database name. So you need the database name, and then you need to know what environment it is. But there's very good documentation on Pinecone. They want you to use it. So, and you also get a free developer um, instance. So there's that. So those are the first two steps. Sign up for ChatGPT, sign up for Pinecone, and I suggest following along in my article to really see what to do. And then select a PDF text file or URL. Select some PDF that you want. I'll remove this here. Okay, just select the PDF you want, but I also have provided one, and that's just a text file. And I actually used a text file. It's the reason why I use a text file is it's faster to load. So I used a text file to load this data into Pinecone. So I'll walk you through. So really, the next step is there's step one, sign up for ChatGPT. Step two, sign up for Pinecone. Step three, I'll select a file or a PDF that you want to get, and then step four, you'll want to load the code. And I've included a link into my article on this, but you're going to want to load, and this is probably the hardest part, is loading everything into loading all the databases. And I use Google Colab. Google Colab is really good for this, and because I think you may want to be, I'm not sure on this, but I think you want to, because there's these app kits, I think you want to be on a Unix or I mean a Linux, some sort of Linux terminal, and this is I think Linux underneath. A lot of these libraries may be easier to install on Linux than Windows. So I'm not sure on this, but all I know is it works in Google Colab. So basically, the step one is just all the necessary imports. These are just all the libraries. And the main one is there's instructured, and that's for file loading. LangChain and OpenAI are the main, and Pinecone are the three main ones. LangChain chains OpenAI and Pinecone together. So LangChain is like the main like operational thing, whereas OpenAI and Pinecone are things that LangChain ties together. And you'll kind of see the power of this LangChain, and all this stuff is coming from LangChain. LangChain has all this, and it imports OpenAI embeddings. And as you can see right here, LangChain has this LLMS, and then it imports OpenAI, but it can import a lot of different LLMS. It's kind of LLMS agnostic. So this is a layer in between a specific large language model. So it can make it so you don't have to. It's not have to abstract. It abstracts it away, so you can use a lot of different ones, and there's going to be a lot there's a lot more coming out. So those libraries are installed. You don't necessarily have to know everything exactly. Just there's just a general idea. And then here I'm just doing all these import main things, LangChain and Pinecone. Actually, Pinecone's right here. I think this one's unnecessary, but um, and then I'm mounting Google Drive to get the file. I recommend getting a Google account. The Google has so many good tools, so I would highly recommend. And to follow along this tutorial, you can most easily do so if you get a Google account. But yeah, I'm mounting Google Drive, and I'm doing this so I can easily access the files. And from here, you can, if you're following along this tutorial and you use it, you can just set these API keys. You don't have to use this code. But this code is better and more secure because it loads it from the drive, and you can't see my API keys because they're in a file. And I think that's generally the way to be there. A better way to do it. Um, and yeah, I just want to show you this is a command in Google Colab. If it's $, it then does a direct command. I mean, not $, but exclamation mark. Um, and then here I'm loading the file. Um, and this file lives on my GitHub, and you'll see a link to the GitHub in the article. So you can directly follow along with this. But kind of what you're going to do to backtrack a little bit is you would want to put this file in your on your drive, Google Drive, and then point it to your your API keys, and then point it to wherever you uploaded this. The API key has to be in this kind of structure. So if you want, you can just do this. This is the simplest. Just put hard code it first, see what it does. But it's up to you. And then, yeah, this is just my drive location. Um, so you load this, it loads the field manual. This is actually this is where it does the load. This just tells it what to load, structure what to load. And then, so this does an actual load. You can see it kind of processing, and there's all this running down here. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but maybe it's a call stack. I don't know. There's this right here. Or maybe it's the Jupyter notebook. I'm not sure what it is. But anyways, it ran. This will tell you how much you have. So it got one document, that's good. There's this is how many characters are in a document. So there's a lot of characters. This is parsing through, you know, what is that, 1.5 million characters. So that's a lot. In this step, it's doing a split. Splitting the text. I'm not exactly sure what it does here, but it's going to split. Actually, it's going to split in a bunch of documents, and I think this is how it can pipe it to a QA chain and not come up with a prompt limit. So I think that may be what it's doing. And this is the embeddings. And embeddings are for this is from OpenAI, and embeddings are taking they're taking vectors and they're making them in. I think they're making vectors in fewer dimensions and it's kind of simplifying that, but still like keeping the associations, like the word associations there. So basically, it's just making it into a format that OpenAI can read it efficiently. And then here, you have it's loading. Pinecone is loading, and this is Pinecone is awesome. It's the vector database. I describe it in an article, and basically vectors are just mathematical representations of words, and they can be used. The vectors can be used to find associations between vectors, and that's how you can do the kind of the semantic search. So they enable this PDF kind of they can enable the storage of this PDF to and then can be easily processed into embeddings. Um, and then this is Pinecone from text. It's just passing into this, I guess, embed the text into embeddings. Uh, and so it's taking a while. Let's load this. So it runs. That ran. Now, one of the most interesting lines of code is right here. It's a chain. It's taking this QA, this large language managed OpenAI, it's a large language model, and it's piping it, and this is what's going to actually do the final run, and these docs are going to look for this query. It's going to look for all these docs into the query, and it has some. There's a strategy here on the simulating search. Um, there's a lot to this. There's a lot to a lot of these concepts actually. But what's nice as a programmer, you don't have to understand it all in order to get it work. So there's a lot. Sometimes I think it's best to see it working first and then find out what you need to know. So yeah, this will answer your questions like what military this. So this loaded out of the PDF. Um, so simply show you what you have to do to get this to run. Rather is you have to sign up for Google account, not to the Google Drive, put in the API keys, and then just put in the file. And there's different. You can also put in a PDF. If you want PDF, use this code instead of this code, and that's pretty much all you have to do. So there's only like three things you have to do, and then you can do a query to test it. Like what do military leaders do? Let's see what that comes up. So there's plan and execute. So it gives you kind of it's right, education. Yeah, so it kind of gives you, actually this is, yeah, focusing on civil military campaigns. Sounds a lot better. This is, yeah, so it gives you a good answer from the text. And I guess, yeah, that's all you have to do to load it. It's really quite simple. And from there, from loading it, the, uh, the well, one thing you have to make sure when you load it is that the data is clean. If the data's not clean, you may have to clean it. Or there can be some data that's not like PDFs that have bad structures or whatever. So that's something you might run into, and that I ran into with this text. There's binary data in the PDF, so I had to clean it, and I included what I used to clean the data. But you might not run into that. So, um, and then yeah, I showed you the chatbot code here, and you can see, yeah, you can see that's just here's just a little QA chain. Um, OpenAI embeddings, Pinecone. So the vector database. So the main concepts are you have OpenAI, the embeddings, and OpenAI in general. You have a vector database, OpenAI AI, and the kind of prompt thing, and you have LangChain. And this is something you definitely want to, I definitely want to look into, and you might be interested in. LangChain is extremely powerful. There's a lot you can do with that. So yeah, this simple chatbot was the code was very simple and there weren't that many lines, but there's a lot to it, and it's an awesome technology. And it kind of just opened the door to me to a lot of other things to look into. So I hope you got something out of this video, and yeah, check out a lot of the other Finxter articles. There's a lot of great Finxter articles on ChatGPT and Python and other things. So yeah, I highly recommend reading up on it. All right.